to my vlog. Yes, this is Diary of a Fairly Used Mom. I'm a first-time mom, recently married, well, at least 3 for a couple of years. And yes, I'm a broadcaster. If you missed my previous vlogs, the one where I talked about long distance relationship, and also the one where I talked about things that pregnant women should know, please, I'll put the link in the description box. Please click on the link below and watch it. Today we're going to be talking about something, but first, story. Now, this day I was in church. I was with my sister and my sister's friend. Now, my sister had already given birth. I mean, my elder sister. Shout out to Mommy Boys at Shop Accessories. My earrings are from her. Very lovely earrings too. I like them. Okay, so I also put her Instagram handle right down in the description box. In case you want to shop from her. But moving on, we were going, and she backed her child, and so there was this woman who just said, is that how to back a child? See how the baby's head is like this. She actually said this in Yoruba, but let me say it in English. And she was like, is that to back a child? See how you did the baby's head? And then it was sort of like she was insulting my sister. And then I was so angry, I was so enraged on behalf of my sister. Like, what's wrong with this woman? Like, is that how to say it? And honestly, I was almost replying until my sister said, leave her. And I was like, you go, why are you slow like this? Can't you talk? And why are you just smiling? And she said, you soon understand, don't worry. Lo and behold, people of God, now I understand. So today I'm going to be talking about 5 things I said I would never do before I became a mom that I am now doing. I mean, life happens. You say, oh, I will never do this. That's why these days when people ask me, oh, would you ever do this? I would say, see, I can't say I will do it. I can't say I will not do it. And that's because life happens. Situations change. We find ourselves in different shoes, and then we do the things that we said we would never ever do. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things I said I would never do before becoming a mom. Number one thing I said, one time I was telling somebody, because we were talking about one woman who apparently left her child in school till 6 p.m. Like a primary school student, still in school till 6 p.m. Without going to school to pick the child. And we felt so bad for the child, and and all that. And I was like, what kind of mother is this? What kind of a parent is this? Blah blah blah. And I told myself, and the person I was talking with, I said, see, I can never ever, if my child is not up to at least 7, 8, 9, 10, I can never leave them in school past closing time. But guess who left their baby in school past closing time? Now, this day I had a meeting in the office, a very, very important meeting, and I could not take my child. I don't have a house help or a nanny. I told you I'm in a long distance relationship, so I live alone. And so that day I felt like I would be able to bring her with me to the meeting, but unfortunately things crashed, plans changed, and I could not bring her along with me to the meeting. It was a new school, it was just the beginning of a new term, and I barely knew the teachers. Like, plot twist, I barely knew them. Okay, and it was a crèche, not even like a school, but a crèche in a school setting. And I was forced to call the crèche and speak to the teachers and say, oh, this is the problem, this is what is happening. I won't be able to come and pick her by 2 o'clock, 3:30, which is the normal closing time, normal closing hour. What do we do? And so eventually one of the teachers had to stay behind till about 5 p.m. and then she had to go home too, because her family was waiting for her. And so she called me, and I was still in the meeting. I said, okay, please help me drop my baby at home. That is the most risky thing I've ever done, honestly. But situations can sometimes cause you to be in some kind of situation. They can cause you to do things that you never thought you would do. Number two thing I said I would never do, that I now do or that I have done is, I remember one time I was asking my mom. I said, why is it that women back their children on bike? Why not put the children in front? Because for me then the logic was that putting the child in front is, safeguarding the child. Putting the child in between the bike man, if you have to climb a bike with a baby, you know having the bike man in front, you at the back. Just because for me, my reasoning then was, what if a car comes from behind and then hits the bike? The child is at a greater risk. But then I'm not like Dangote's daughter or Tesla's daughter. My husband is not Otedola or Dangote. So I don't have a car and I have to make do, with bikes or charter. I remember when I first gave birth, I was always going around with, charter cabs or Uber or Taxify. But then I realized that it was, making a big well into our income, into the income of the family. And so I decided to, give myself sense. And so I started moving around with bikes. Initially, I would carry my baby in front, but then I realized that that was even worse. It wasn't safe. It wasn't as safe as backing my baby. As a matter of fact, there was a day I had a near miss accident, honestly, but that's a story for another day. On that day of the, almost accident kind of thing, I backed my baby, and that was the only thing that saved her. Number three thing I said I would never, ever, never, ever do is to allow my child drink fizzy drinks. I mean soda, Pepsi, Coke, Limca, whatever those drinks are. For me, I was always like, oh, my baby would always, apple juice, orange juice, and all those juice. Or I would make smoothies because I'm actually a lover of smoothies. I was like, hey, I'll make smoothies for my baby, blah blah blah. But unfortunately, my baby girl loves Pepsi. And I also like Pepsi, so for every time I take, she wants to take. And initially I wasn't giving her, but later on, the crying was just so much for me. And I'll just give her like, oh, Ogbeni, please let me rest. And so I'll give her the Pepsi. And she's now a pro, honestly. She can drink like a whole plastic of Pepsi. Moving on to the number four thing I said I would never do is to leave my baby crying. I used to watch mothers who would take their babies out and the baby would be crying and throwing a tantrum, and then the mother would, just leave the child to cry. I was, what kind of mother is this? Didn't she feel labor pains? I felt labor pains, but yeah, I still leave my baby crying. You know why? Because sometimes the children, they can run somebody mad. They can turn somebody mad if you're not careful. So sometimes when the baby is crying, just make sure that you have checked to ensure that it's not like anything is wrong. For me, my normal routine with my baby, if she's crying, and I can't find a reason, is number one, has she eaten? Number two, I would ask myself, has she gone to the toilet? And number three, I would remove her nappy or her diapers. I would remove her diapers, I would remove her clothes, I would bathe for her. And then if after all that she's still crying, then I leave her to cry. You know why? Because I cannot come around mental. Moving on to the last and final thing, which is number five that I said I would never do, is to smile at people that give me unsolicited advice. I don't know why there's so many people that love to give unsolicited advice. In fact, the latest one I'm hearing now is Edefula Buru, And then I'm asking myself, okay, if I have another child, are you going to be contributing to the family's finance? Are you going to be taking care of the child for me? Are you going to be doing some odd jobs that I need to be done? No, you won't. You won't help me. And you want me to give you another baby? Who are you? My husband? Or my parents? So for me, I'm a person that I really hate it when people give me unsolicited advice, especially when the advice is like sounding somehow. But I realized that in this journey of motherhood, you have to choose your battles wisely. Choose which battles to fight. Choose which battles to leave alone, because James Bond once said, "He who runs away live to fight another day. And that's what I do with people who give me unsolicited advice. That's a list of 5 things I swore I'd never do as a mom, but I find myself doing. Motherhood changes you. It basically changes your life. But it is a very welcome thing. It's a very, very awesome journey that I have embarked upon, and I promise myself to try to do and make it the best that I can. And that's it for today. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my blog by clicking on the subscribe button, and I'll see your comments. I await your replies, your questions, your comments, and please give me a thumbs up. But most importantly, please, please, please subscribe to this vlog. I need you to subscribe. Thank you so much. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or any other platform at BeeSwags. That's at BeeSwags. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.